At this point, we would like to recognize Basic Military Training's outstanding performers. These airmen have earned the distinction of being the top graduates of this basic military training class. The Honor Graduate Program permits up to 10% of each graduating class to be recognized as honor graduates. This is both highly competitive and extremely difficult to achieve. To earn the title of honor graduate, each airman must excel in every aspect of basic military training, to include exceptional performance in dormitory inspections, military studies, drill, physical training, and above all, be recommended by their military training instructor and squadron commander. As the airmen are introduced, please hold your applause until the last honor graduate is recognized. From the 320th Training Squadron, Adriel Justin Vitalis, Antonio Thomas, Ashley Neely, Azekwe Rice, Christian De Los Santos, Christian Novello, Connor Romlin, Emily Von Vasold, Garrett Hightower, Jonathan Lasasso, Miles Scott, Mia Alger, Nicholas Chapman, Travis Duncan. From the 321st Training Squadron, Alyssa McLaughlin, Amberlyn Leon Guerrero, Andrew Jandro, Caleb Goldman, Dave Tanghab, Dimitri Muchelknos, Dominique Fogel, Evan Sutherland, Hunter Griffith, Jake Sprindis, Jacob Ivanek, Jaro Hall, Jessica Mele Taylor, Joel Dogray, John Martinez, Joshua Olson, Casey Latanga, Kirk Tolsman, Lane Bender, Michael Jenkins, Nicholas Bumpus, Ryan Gray, Samantha Williams, Spencer Mitchell, Sungwon Ko, Thomas May, William Bosch, Wyatt Becker, Zachary Nao. From the 323rd Training Squadron, Chase Haynes, Elizabeth Whalen, Henry Petrash, Jacob Schwartz, Kyle Meyer, Mason Jupe, Matthew Reynolds. From the 324th Training Squadron, Austin Wiggins, Brett Barrett, Brooke Stewart, Cameron Rolston, Daniel Campagna, Daniel Jung, Emily Fox, Eric Hampton, Gage Sunrit, Gitsu Kim, Janice Tanner, Jessica Braze, Jet Madison, Joseph Boswell, Karina Duarte, Catherine Taylor, Kelly Reynolds, Kendall Knuff, Lloyd Young, Lucas Pantoja, Mason Choice, Matthew Gibson, Michael Cuffley, Morgan Bush, Natalie Caronhall, Nicholas Elliott, Reese Wolf, Shanika Tofia, Taylor Fennell. How about a nice round of applause for all our honor graduates? We will now recognize our top graduating airmen for this class. This honor goes to the one airman who has surpassed all others in the challenges of Air Force basic military training. This individual has been selected as the #1 graduate out of 758 graduates. Lieutenant Colonel Scott Christensen, representing the Commander, Basic Military Training, and Chief Master Sergeant Sarah Sipe, representing the Superintendent, Basic Military Training, will make the presentation. The top graduating airman of this class is from the 324 Training Squadron, Airman Basic, Shaniqua Tofia. Now entering the retreat pad is the 737th Training Group's Drum and Bugle Corps from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Chad Jackson and Technical Sergeant Leslie Moore. They are performing under the direction of Master Sergeant Samuel Johnson. From the 323rd Training Squadron, Flight 619, led by Staff Sergeant Jonathan Evans. From the 323rd Training Squadron, Commander's Excellence Flight 620, led by Staff Sergeant Alejandro Diaz. From the 323rd Training Squadron, Flight 621, led by Technical Sergeant Kelsey Nevis. From the 323rd Training Squadron, Flight 622, led by Technical Sergeant Andrew Rothstein. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 623, led by Staff Sergeant Phil Tran. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 624, led by Staff Sergeant Kyle Schei. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 625, led by Master Sergeant Blaine Campbell. From the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 626, led by Technical Sergeant Krista Greenwell. From the 324 Training Squadron, Flight 627, led by Technical Sergeant Eric Mistro. From the 324 Training Squadron, Flight 628, led by Technical Sergeant Foster Johnson. From the 324 Training Squadron, Flight 629, led by Master Sergeant Jerome Thomas. From the 324 Training Squadron, PT Excellence Flight 630, led by Technical Sergeant Jonah Talmas. From the 321st Training Squadron, PT Excellence Flight 631, led by Master Sergeant Bryant Felton. From the 321st Training Squadron, Flight 632, led by Technical Sergeant Britney Skiles. From the 321st Training Squadron, Flight 633, led by Master Sergeant Michael Wright. From the 321st Training Squadron, Academic Excellence Flight 634, led by Technical Sergeant Gabriel Nowicki. This morning, we pay special tribute to the men and women before us. They have successfully completed all graduation requirements and have demonstrated that they are ready to take their place as airmen in the world's greatest Air Force. We will mark their transition today from trainees to airmen by presenting them with the coveted Airman's Coin. Today's ceremony celebrates the remarkable accomplishments of this graduating class. Our nation's future rests upon the dedication of this new class of warriors who we honor today. Chief Master Sergeant Sipe will now say a few words.
Wow, 770 amazing young men and women. Let's hear it for them. Trainees, for the past 8.5 weeks, your military training instructors have spared no effort to prepare you for service in our United States Air Force. You have been challenged, both physically and mentally, and you have demonstrated your readiness to serve in support of our country's national objectives. In a moment, your instructors will present you with the coveted Airman's Coin, signifying your transition from trainee to airman. Since World War II, coins have been a symbolic piece of the history and heritage of great Air Force and American airmen, representing affiliation with our ranks. Our history was written by airmen just like you, delivering air power anywhere across the globe in a moment's notice with precision and accuracy. It is your turn to write the future history of the United States Air Force. You will define our heritage, our character, with your dedicated service. You will undoubtedly continue to deliver life-saving humanitarian aid, airlift of troops and supplies, execution of full airstrike capabilities, and support of ground operations with close air support, and you will do it as a part of the world's greatest air and space power. As Acting Superintendent of Basic Military Training, I hereby acknowledge your completion of basic training graduation requirements and recommend to the Commander that you receive your Airman's Coin. Trainees, you have earned the title of Airman. Now go out and live it. Congratulations. Military training instructors, you may now proceed.
First element, tense heads, one step forward, heads. First element, aim.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Commander, Basic Military Training, Lieutenant Colonel Christensen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the men and women of the 737th Training Group and Basic Military Training, I want to welcome you and our distinguished visitors, senior leaders, veterans, family, and friends to today's ceremony. To the family and friends of the 770 Airmen in formation, today marks the culmination of 8.5 weeks of hard work, dedication, and the beginning of a new journey. They would not be here if it were not for the love and support from you. Service members are not the only ones that make sacrifices in defending our nation. Over the past 2 months your airmen have spent here, I'm sure that many, if not all of you, have experienced the anxiety that separation from your loved ones brings. We recognize this sacrifice and appreciate your willingness to support them in their efforts to provide for our common freedom. The Air Force may recruit an individual, but we retain a family, and we welcome you to that family and thank you for the support you have offered and will continue to offer wherever your airmen are called to serve. The airmen before you have undergone a transition from a civilian to a trained, resilient, and confident member of the profession of arms. It is appropriate that we recognize the men and women who guided that transition, the military training instructors. MTIs, I commend you for your professionalism, your dedication, and your selfless service. Daily, you embody the concept of fulfillment of duty, and there can be no higher compliment for those of us in martial service. Your efforts to forge these men and women into airmen will reverberate throughout the Air Force for years to come. Referring to the Royal Air Force and their efforts during the Battle of Britain, Winston Churchill said, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." The generations of future Americans who will enjoy a free republic may well and truthfully say the same of you. To our graduating airmen, today you join the long blue line of airmen that came before you. Airmen that have flown or fought in the skies over every continent, airmen that have tread the emptiness of space, airmen whose cumulative sacrifice and strivings have provided the United States with a combat power unprecedented in human history. You now must bear the charge to uphold that power, to hone it to a sharper edge, a more capable edge, and to wield it with the same honor and strength as our heritage and legacy demand of you. You will face unanticipated challenges. You will face the unknown, and you will face the dark storm clouds of a world order in a flux unprecedented since the end of the Second World War. These may seem daunting and insurmountable challenges. Lesser men and women may shrink from them, but as American airmen, you will do what every worthy airman has done before you. You will put your face to the rising and raging wind. You will increase the power on the throttle, and you will rise roaring to the sky to unsparingly cast down whatever threat emerges from that dark unknown. George Washington, in his first address to the Congress of the newly independent United States, said, "To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving the peace." You are now airmen warriors who will strive to build, sustain, and promote peace at every opportunity. And in those cases where peace is rejected, you will be prepared to wage war on any who would do your country and your countrymen harm. Never forget your heritage. Never forget your legacy. Uphold it, honor it, and most importantly, add to it. You have been tested, You have felt the satisfaction of breaking through your self-imposed barriers and finding open horizons beyond. Now go forward and continue to push yourself and our Air Force to new frontiers and to new accomplishments. Congratulations and welcome to the United States Air Force.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Christensen. Instructors, place your flights at attention. At this time, we'd like to ask all airmen, past and present, to stand in a sign of respect and unity as our newest airmen now recite the Airman's Creed. I am an American airman. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing and singing of the United States Air Force song and the departure of the official party.